Right guys, welcome to the channel. Now today we're going to do a Friday live sort of match sort of thing. We're going to talk it through. Now I've had a lot of people ask me about sort of match scenarios and like fishing the first open match. A lot of the time at Weston, which I'm here today. So what I'm going to do is spin you around now and just show you the peg we're drawing. Sorry, I just got here late. I had actually a nice breakfast in the clubhouse, but I'm just actually getting my gear off my trolley. And what I'll do is I'll spin it round and show you the peg we've drawn for today, what I'm thinking, and then we'll get set up, show you a few rigs, a bit of fishing, catch up at the end, that sort of thing. So hopefully just spin it round now. Right, so this is the peg we've drawn for today, 6 on Stretton. We've got a lot of room, there's no one to the left here. And then the next peg's up there in the bowl, so there's a lot of room today. It's Friday bonus peg match, so we've got, basically I can reach like near enough across there, not tight, I can just reach off the bank. I'll probably get tight if I put a long kit in, but I'm not gonna. But it's probably about 4 foot across, so I'm gonna start off dobbing across that far bank with a big piece of punch bread, like a 10mm bit. I'm not gonna mess around, just because I want like a visual target. Now what I find here, I've found over the years, is you can catch a lot of carp just dobbing a bit of bread around dead high in the water, like 2 foot 18 inches. So that's how we're going to start, and then basically I'm going to feed a maggot line in line with that tree. There's a pheasant over there, you can see him, in line with that tree at 30 metres. Just loose feed a few maggots there, hopefully catch on the bottom. Then I've got like these pellets to fish to, so this one and that one. I'm just going to keep it dead simple. I've plumbed up a short maggot line, but I'll throw that if it gets good. But I think we're going to try and catch on maggots there, pellets across after a bit of dobbing, and then try and focus on the edges. Now, got some Fishery micros, they're swelling up nice, some expanders, and the old Stanley flask. But I think I've got some corn in there, some lunch, some corn, some big nice maggots there. Riddling off, a week old then. But yeah, ready to go now. And rigs are set up. I'll just go through my maggot rig. So, maggot rig, nice 4x12 F1 maggot, strung out shotting pattern there, just into parts. These are what you want. Oh no! And what you don't want to do is do that. Let's see if these actually try and get in them. So yeah, right off. SFLs. And my hooks for today's nice and prepped. I'll have to leave that open now because I just dropped it in like a fool. But yeah, gonna get me stuff ready. Try and tidy my peg up a bit, but that's the peg for today. Get the cameras set up. Hopefully get a little bit of fishing and a load of fish caught. It's going to be nice and hot today, so hopefully we'll catch a few. Right, so a little update of what's going on. Now, it's sort of gone how it's expected to. And what I mean by this is because of the bright sun and the sort of cold morning we've had, and the lake is still, you can still see, like I say, a foot down, nearly 18 inches down, say a foot, clearly. What's happened is all the fish have come up and they're in cover trying to get some sun. So you've got fish swimming around along the far bank. You've got fish I can actually see. Fish swimming around by the keep. You've got some eye come down the middle. So there's a lot of fish moving trying to get some cover. So basically I had 4 carp, 3 massive ones like 8 to 10 pounders, one about 5 pound, and then we've had a big F1 as well and a little stock in. Now the best way to catch has been with 3 maggots on the hook, big 14 hook, 4x10 F1 pellet just strung out at 2 number 12s down the line and a bulk underneath. Now all I've been doing is sort of flicking it up and down that far bank, so there's actually a fish there now. You can actually see little shadows under the water now. The best line I've actually caught most of my carp off has been towards this little tree here, towards to the left of the peg, sorry. So as far as I can go, 16 metres. As far as I can go, that's where there seems to be a little gang of fish there. Also I've caught some dobbing up against the reeds, like right in front of me, but this seems to be well, but it's not really like your sort of winter dobbing where you flick it in and it sort of is, it's sort of like, but you can actually see where the fish are sometimes. You can see like dark shadows moving, maybe a fish rises or a reed bed knocks, and just drop your rig next to that. You can often find a few fish. But I've seen it so many times here at Weston over the years. When there's a fit bite there. When the weather does this, where it goes like a cold morning, like it was a frost this morning, but then it's going to be like 12 to 15 degrees today. Say 15 degrees really. It's quite warm. The fish is just naturally going to want to come up and try and get some sun and try and warm themselves, because they've been stuck in the winter hardy holes all this time, so they're going to get warm, start moving around. But the thing is with this, it's a lot different, like I said, it is a lot different than the winter dobbing. You've got to be a bit more visual. It's sort of like your mugging scenario in the summer. You're moving around, trying to see if you can see any dark shapes on the water, any indications of like fish moving in that area. But it's been really good. We've had four carp, an F1 and then a stocky as well. I'd lost the carp as well under the pallet, but just keep flicking it around, keep moving it. Found the best way, just to keep moving it around. What you'll do, you'll eventually come across a carp and hopefully he takes it. But the reason why I've chose maggots over bread for now is because I just feel that was a bite then. I just feel I can get away with, like, say if that was bread there now, I'd have to come back, reset my rig, put another piece on. But as where I've got maggots, I've got nice big 3 maggots on, so it's like attractive falling through the water. Where you got to think, where you're fishing, where I'm fishing that is quite visual, so it's going to be quite clear the water across, so the fish are going to see it. You just want some of the attractive and fall down 3 maggots and just come and intercept it. But say I haven't done anything else. I actually started on this and had a 8-pounder straight away on that far left hand line. And just moved up and down, but probably got near enough 35 pound in 5 or 6 fish. It's next to nothing. Big old fish. Ooh. Looking away then it went. But it's been interesting, like, you gotta keep working it. Now I don't feel like depth is not really going to be a problem, because we're going to be fishing in that, say, 18-inch 2-foot area. That's where the colours just sorts to go out of the lake. And one thing you can do, if you don't get a bite in that area, you can flick it back in there, and after a time, it's the one thing, if the fish are moving through, been a little gang there. They just seem, when you hook a few, they seem to drift off back up that way, and then as you leave them alone, they just drift back that way and you can nick an odd one. But when you nick an odd one, it's like 6 to 7, 8 pound. It's a hell of a difference. Like I say, there's one at the back there, I can actually see it. Actually see like a shadow just before the boards there. But this time of year, this does happen, where I've seen it loads here. When I was walking There it gets a bite straight away. When I've been walking around years ago and stuff, like on days like this, the amount of times you walk around the edges and there's like a ball of fish just sat under a reed bed or sat under a pallet hiding or trying to get out the sun. This is why today it's a really good peg. I haven't been on it for a while, but today it's just perfect conditions for this peg today. You've got loads of cover across, and the fish are going to be want to be in that today, as where like I don't think you're really going to want to be, say like in the middle of the lake down there, where it's been good in winter, but for the likes of today when the fish are mooching about a bit, and then they want to get in some cover. Don't think we probably could have drawn any better. So it's not frantic, you're not going to go in and get loads and loads and loads, but when you get one it is big. It's worth just spending that time chasing them around, trying to work it. Don't get me wrong, we're probably coming to the end of it now. Sort of maybe we need to feed somewhere and try and catch some fish on the bottom on pellets across, but for how good this has been and the size of fish we've caught, it's going to be hard to come off it, but that's where you can waste time. Just flicking it about. There you go, there's one. See that, just that little bit of work in it, trying to find a fish, trying to aggravate it. I think it's a carp as well. It's good. It's hugging on the far bank. I forgot how actually they actually fight in this lake. I haven't been on this arm catching carp for a very long time. But literally my rig's balanced. I've got 11 holler, the red one, the original. It's like my go-to favourite elastic, to be honest. I've used it for years. And then I've got an 013 14 hook SFL. Nice and robust. We're not going to get smashed to pieces. A nice big hook. Fishing 3 maggots on the hook. So we've got a lot of hook point exposed. I haven't played carp for ages. I haven't really caught any on like long kits, but they're starting to wake up now. Might be an F1 actually. F1. That's a little carp. See what I mean there? Just a little bit of working now. And that's the beauty of like fishing with maggots. If you're fishing with bread, you can miss a few bites and you give it a go after. If you think I think bread's better when they're balled up. So when they're sat in like an area just of the peg, I think that's when it's better then. But I think maggots are really good when you when you need to move around and flick around. Like I could see a fish down the edge and I can easily just flick down there, but that's a good fish, that is. A 4 pounder, 4.5 pounder. So it probably got near, probably just over 40 pound that net, and I've got 7 fish in it. So it's a real good start. The only thing is, I do think, like, because of this bright sun, it's going to be very, very difficult to try and catch any fish on the bottom. But you never know, there might be a few feeding fish, but when you get these hot spring days, generally it's very difficult to try and catch on the bottom, say middle of the match. You might catch a few fish down the edge and stuff later on when the sun drops, but at the minute it's quite high in the sky and there's a lot of fish moving around, but get little spells of runs of fish coming through, but same sort of aspect than the winter. Like, I've tried that area now, I've just hooked one from there, so what I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to spin. I'm going to see that there, I've just spooked one actually. There's a few fish down here, to be honest. I'm going to push that into that area there, because I've actually had one there and that's the one that come off. So thing is, I generally think it's not like your sort of traditional winter dobbing where there's a ball of fish sat under somewhere and they're hugging that area. Just think as like the fish are coming up to the top, just sunbathing themselves in that area, maybe milling about, moving back down to a different area, come back up, and you're moving around, chasing them around. There's no coincidence that, like, I've hooked a few fish on that left, and then all of a sudden they've started to circle on that area, just trying to get away. They're a bit wise to get that area. Mate's just been caught, but so you can always have a go at this area and then go back along that bank. You might hook one along that bank, hopefully. But nice little update. We were about an hour and 10 in, so probably like an hour and 20, 25 in now. And we've got like nearly 40 pounds, so I don't expect. So there's one sucking there now. There's a carp sucking something out of the grass there. So this is what you got to look for, like a little sign like that. Just a fish moving. Just get that rig straight in position. You never know, it might be like, what you find with carp is there's like normally the little group of them. Now every fish I've seen today come through, like short or along the far bank, there's 2 or 3 of them, so that one might be nudging the reeds, but his mate might be sat underneath him, and that maggot coming past him might aggravate him to take it. Just got to always be thinking and always be moving around. So you got them 3 maggots on, they're moving around nice and attractive. Got sort of the right size hook on. That's a ball of fish, I think they're eyed actually. They're coming down the middle there. Is that eyed? That might be an F1. One over here. Let's try and see if we can get him. No, he's seen us. That's the only problem when they are quite spooky. Still there, that carp. Let's try again. Push it as close as we can to that reeds. Right behind it is it, right in this little bit of rubbish in the water, or reeds in the water. That's where he is. There we go. I think we got him. I think we got him actually. We got him? Yeah, I think it's a carp. Is it? Someone going mental. Literally pulling the pole around now. one thing about this Stretton and actually Weston in general, when you hook a carp, it's all well and good, but the next problem you're going to have is it absolutely ragging you about. You can't just literally shit back and net them. They're going to give you a battle. But like that little sign then, just a classic like sort of little trick that people might, come off that one. Come on, just pulled off. I know, foul hooked him. I'll take that. Didn't pull out of him. But that's a classic little sign. If that was in the mouth, then we could have had another carp in the net, but there's actually a fish. I can actually see one under the pallet next door. So just sort this rig out, make sure it's all in proportion. The fish come out there now, so there's actually two. Oh yeah, okay. Just trying to sneak one into the pallet literally next door here now. I've seen like a dark shadow underneath, and then as I flicked my rig in, it's gone down and followed it towards it and had like a sign, like a bite. There now again. I think they're F1s though, a lot smaller. Don't waste time, just literally gonna try that long left hand sort of line again. Flick it out as far as I can. Just to the left. See if any fish are regrouped in that area. Or hiding under that, like an old tree. It's not all in the water, but there's a few branches. Creates a nice little feature for him. So it could be near the end now where I need to start doing some feeding or fishing across with pellets. But I said this last time when we hooked the carp like 4.5 pounds, and I actually looked on my clock, it was like 10 minutes. So you take catching one every 10 minutes. Seems to be a couple of fish around here. Seen a couple of swirls. Oh, yeah, bugger. And a bite straight away. It's where we just foul hooked one from. It was slightly about 2 foot to the left was where we foul hooked it from, but These exciting fish, you just got to keep yourself dead busy, like looking for little nooks and crannies, signs of fish. The last thing you want to do is sort of like just go into one area, catch one fish in and not move around. Chase these fish around. Bite then. So like say if we went to an area now, like say this area for example, say if I went to this bit and I was getting a regular bites there off that one spot, then I could have a go on bread then, but I just think for now, for what it's worth, it's given me the option to bomb up and down, try different lines, try different areas, so I'm not wasting time changing my hook bait. Just try that area there, tried that bit for a bit. See, it can get a little bit worrying when you ain't caught on anything, but then when you get stuck into him, like you might go like 10 to 15 minutes without finding any, then all of a sudden a ball might just drift down, you might hook 2 and 2 chucks and you're back in what you need to be at, or you might catch a big one, or it's one of them things when fish are so big, I don't really see any other way we're gonna get the best from a peg by other than doing this for now. I'm watching down the lake and Alan on 30, he's catching an odd and loose feeding some maggots, but there's an odd and fishing shallow and stuff, but just feel if you can get, try down here again. That's right in the back, that is. But like I said, we're going to try and catch another one for you, but you've seen how I've gone about it, gone to target carp. I think it's important this time of year, especially on here on Westers, to target some carp. Ooh, that was a bite then, or was that waffling? I think you need carp because it's an easy, if you can catch them, it's an easy way to build your weight faster. As where the F1s at the start of the match, they're quite difficult to catch, but you can catch some later on. So by starting the match with some carp, you don't need many of them because they're big fish. So that element of it, you just need a few bites, you got that chance to work out your peg. But everyone seems to think just because it's gone sunny, that pheasant's kicking off now. Everyone seems to think when because it's gone sunny that like dobbing sort of thing doesn't work, but you're basically dobbing, mugging, same thing, but you just flick into areas where the fish might be hiding. You can keep catching them. There you go. There we go. So see that there? We've not caught one on that left hand bit. Give it a little rest for a while. Gone back there. And got one going up the far bank now to the reeds on the other side. Fantastic. Honestly, they are the worst fish in the world in this lake. They're just pulling you around. Like, that's nearly bottoming me out at 30 metres. That'd be in the next guy's peg if there was someone there. But like I say, we've got a lot of room today. Basically pleasure fishing, but whoa, where are you off? Oh no. Ah, it's come off. I just took the rig. So I'll have to set another rig up. But yeah, as you can see, they're a bit aggressive. Just took me a knot as well. They're a bit aggressive, these Weston Pools carp. Right, so we're just over 3 hours into the match now, and we've been having a good run on this 30 metre line. That, ever since we lost that rig with that carp, we've not really, well, I've not had another bite on that line, and to be honest, I've not really seen anything moving and mooching around. I've seen the odd fish under this pallet, but it's an odd F1. But trying to get even bait, but I'm not really seeing anything, so we dropped on this maggot line on the bottom and we had a mega run. They want to see the size of these eyes we're catching. Very big fish. I made a couple of ones on it, and to be honest, we probably just ticked over. We probably ticked over as like, I want to say, probably got nearly just over 40 pound of carp and F1s. And then I want to say we got in this net now, we must have 30 odd pounds, must be, because look at the size of these things. They're not small, big fish. That's £1.5 pound easy, that. So we must have 25, 30 pound in there. Must have. Coming quite regular. I'm just catching them nice and steady, like just on a light rig. On a 4B8 F1 shallow. Just flicking it around. Now I have got a long piece of line, just because I want to keep the pole away from the float. They're quite clever, these are. They can see your pole. Oh, they can see your pole, and there's not much cut. As I said before, you can still very clear the lake. Really, it's only just coming into spring now, so it's not really coloured up like this height of summer, but trying to keep that pole away. Yeah, you miss a few bites, but you gain a lot more from it, so swings and roundabouts. Just make sure you're always in contact. There's not much wind today, so getting away with it, but keep laying it back in and out all the time. These are the visual feeders. They love stuff falling through the water. Just find you only really catch any with any feed going through your peg. Just feed like minimal amount, keep something falling through the peg. Give yourself the best chance of hooking these fish. But like I said, it's been good. Little update what's been going on. Like I said, we probably got like 40 odd pound of bigger fish, and we probably caught 15 of these eyed and a few smaller F1s. So yeah, we're not far. I think it's something like that. Not far away. £25. Mustn't be. Maybe even 30, but we did have a good run on the bottom, but just need the odd fish. Odd fish was coming shallow, but you can always drop back on the bottom if we need to. One beauty about it, you get a lot of signs and stuff when they come in your peg, and you can, because of this, like the clearness of the water, you can actually see them when they come in. See the odd one move through your peg, so you know you can keep working it, and then when there's one in your peg you can hopefully catch it, but if not, you can drop back onto the bottom. See that there then? I've just seen one coming to the peg and we've had a bite straight away, so now I'm going to feed now, just because there's one in the peg, or there's a little gang of them. Just want to make them go a bit crazy, not try and look at the hook bait, try and get them competing, so they snatch at the hook bait and he makes it an easy fish to catch there. That's what I'm trying to do by feeding. Just minimal amounts, next to nothing. 5 or 6. Create a bit of noise. Bit of bait going through your peg. So if you need to drop back on the bottom, we can do. Just keep that short line topped up. We have kept the edges fed, so thing is we have a good run in them edges, say 30 pounds, say. Like the last 90 minutes, we could end up with £100 really. It's not unrealistic today. Had a good start with that dobbin, really good start with that. One thing as well with that, you got a length of line, use it to your advantage, flick it past. Let it fall through. Search your area of the peg, not all going to be in one little tunnel, moving around everywhere. If you can pick the odd one off, as you can see they were big fish. Probably now though, I probably think I've had one missed bite and not many fish coming through the peg, so might need to drop back on the bottom. But like I say, I've fed maggots to my right in the edge, and I've fed maggot pellets with a tiny bit of corn to my left. Ooh, there you are, that was a good bite. That was a good bite. That was out of the blue, that was. It might be an F1. Feels like an F1. Doesn't feel like an eye. Hugging the bottom, really. There it is. It's a very good sign if they're coming shallow now. May seem like peg's absolutely solid day, but it's a good area when they feed this area, but it's a really nice fish, that. Big F1, shallow. But Weston is renowned for, because it's so deep, they do come shallow very easily. So yeah, we are on a lot of fish, but we're on a way that it's not surprising that I can catch them like this. That's a good sign. It's warm today, but it's crazy to start the match with just fish were hugging that reed line, swimming around. And caught them just dobbing a few maggots around. See, there's one I can see a shadow in the peg there. As soon as you see a little shadow, get little bites. There's a few fish coming in the peg, so, and again. So, just cut my feed down a little bit, minimal amount. Flick it in. He didn't even go anywhere near my rig then. So we've still got the edges to try. Could catch some big carp down the left on pellets if they want to eat them, or maggots if you want to eat them that side, but be interesting to drop down there. Oh, that was a sign then. It's getting the odd bite shallow still. See, there's a little shadow in the peg now. Hopefully get him in a little competition. My maggot falls through. Just snatch at it and you catch him. So lay it back in. It's that noise of it going back in, or the fall of it falling through the water. I'm going to have to trigger one just to snatch at it. Not stupidly solid, but a decent sized fish. Just going to leave my rig in the water now just to see. So I'm going to cat you over the top just to see what happens if I get a sign or... Thinking maybe just drop back on the bottom because there's enough fish coming through, but they are difficult to catch. That's where on the bottom, at least you just gonna try it. No harm in trying it. Shallow has been good, but I just feel like going deeper shallow is not going to be the way. Only because I just think I can see the fish when they come in. So there's no point in me going like 3-4 foot deep when I can see the fish. Try on the bottom. Same principle, flick it out, hold it tight. I'm not going to feed as regular this time. See if there's any bait is built up on the bottom. A bit more heavier. Might just get a little quick run of fish now, or gives us a little bit better chance of an F1. I know we caught one shallow, but we have had a couple on the bottom. And when they start eating, that's where they're going to go before they come shallow, so might be a fair few on the bottom, you don't know. Just have a little look. I'm not going to be rafting maggots over it all the time now. Just going to sit there nice and patient. The sun's a nightmare. Going in, going out, there's a bite straight away. It's another thing, I don't want to be cattying over the top, because all that's going to do is cause me a massive issue with if fish coming into the peg. So the cattying is going to attract them into the peg, and they're going to come in, start to eat the maggots like through the water, and on my rig it's just going to be signs and indications that it's going to be hard to determine what to bite. But that was a little good change. That's something, I don't know what that is. Might be an F1. So you might have a group of F1s on the bottom. Yeah, it is as well. So a little change there. Brought a different fish. It's a good sign. Nice little F1. Pounded a bit. That little change, just thought, right, drop on that mid bottom line. Just brought us an F1. Do it one more, and one more go, and then so nice and straight. And feed the same again. It's like a fairly good amount. Over where we're fishing. Straight away that's on the settle, and that's, if that's not foul up, that's another F1. So just shows you, fat around fishing shallow, catching an hiding, and you might have a little run of F1s on the bottom. That's why it's important just to keep chopping and changing. When you're not catching, drop on a different rig, because I don't know whether it's foul up. Feels weird. Noticing. Skimmer. It's a different fish. Big skimmer though. Far up, but did have it on the straight down, but nice fish that. £1.5 again. Have one more, see what else is there, that's interesting. Get that slime off. Nice clean rig. One more chuck. Just nice loose feed in there. That was on the day down. Nice just loose feeding, firing some bait in. Spent all winter trying to be careful, and now it's just had a few matches recently where got a bit too giddy with the catapult, but today it feels like the fish are actually really responding to it today. Haven't had to put my pot on once to try and tap a bit of bait in. We've just been nice and aggressive with the catapult. Caught some fish shallow, caught some fish on the bottom, so it's been good. Don't get me wrong, we have got a lot of room. It's probably the best peg in the match, to be fair. Like, that's a little curry or something, I think. You can get all sorts of fish. We've had like 3 different fish and 3 different... Is it? I'm not really... Yeah, it must be. Yeah, little crucian. So, we've got 3 different fish on that, but a little update. We're doing alright, to be fair. Catching a few. Probably got like 60-70 pound now, and probably like 90 minutes left or something like that now, so we're doing alright. We'll try and catch one more, see what's going on. Me trying to go too fast, that was. But yeah, don't get me wrong, this is probably a really good peg today for what the weather's done. Dead bright, loads of cover across, which we can reach, bit of room, and there's obviously a few feeding fish down here as well, so. Having a lovely day. Just keeping it simple. We've dobbed a few maggots, or dobbed or mug, whatever you call it, on the pole, on the bottom, and I have one shallow. But a few things now, I don't want to keep blasting my bait with a peg with all loads of bait. Trying to think, oh, it's shallow, shallow, shallow. Got to be careful at the same time. That I don't overcook it. Just be nice and patient, really. Just sit there, wait for things to happen now. Last thing I want to do is start picking up my catapult and firing loads of bait in. Now, because it's just going to cause problems. It's going to put loads of bait in my peg. That doesn't seem right. Nah, it's far up. There might be too much bait on the bottom, so maybe calm the cattying down a little bit after this. But skimmer's lime all on it, so yeah, what we'll do, we'll probably come back with like a little 10-minute update later on and see how we're getting on then. Right, so we're all weighed in now, and we weighed in 79 pounds, and I can't remember what the ounces were. That's actually been second on the lake. Rich Chapman, the old Winning Ways legend of cameraman, he's won the lake and the match on peg 16. down the bottom end. He's had 92 pound of nice big F1s and some stockies. He's just fished. I was speaking to him after the match. He's fished a nice match short and in the edge, catching some bigger fish. Now, and Scott Bride has been third. I've just pipped and he's had 77 pounds. So well done, pal. So it's been good up that end. The wind's been blowing down there, but looking back now, don't feel too disappointed at what happened in the match, because it's faded on me late on. Now, looking at the match how it started, we caught some carp dobbing and it's just got brighter and brighter and brighter, and no feeding fish down. I'm not saying there's no feeding fish down, but we've had very little feeding fish in that second half, like the last 2 hours of the match after that initial run of like eyed and stuff. As soon as we run out of the eyed, we've hardly had any F1s, we've not caught on the edge, we've not caught any more carp across and stuff. I did try pellets across, so that's interesting. Maybe I should have focused looking back on the match earlier, trying to catch dobbing a bit better, because I'm thinking, well, if I catch it early well, I've put me in good stead for the later on, because it might fade because no fish with feeding in my peg later on. I'm not making excuses, it's just interesting to think that, like Rich said, his what died late on, but the middle of the match when I couldn't catch any, not the middle of the match, sort of like to the end of the match, I've struggled to catch anything. I've just caught cruies and stuff long on the bottom, trying my edges, not really. I've not had a bite in the edge actually, and again I didn't have anything back across. So looking back, it's a bit of a weird match. We caught dobbing early, maggots on the bottom for a bit, and then it's just tailed off towards the end. But conditions, you can't help that. It's been nice, to be fair. It's nice to get on the bank in the sun. Really should have just had a t-shirt on, but it's been enjoyable. I hope you've enjoyed it, picked up a few little tricks and tips. Don't forget that dobbing, mugging, whatever you want to call it, can be really deadly if the water's quite clear. In this time of year, if it's still quite clear, you can still catch a few carp, which are important, because if you think I didn't catch them carp, I'd have been way down in the match. So a few positives, a few negatives about it, stuff to learn off. It's been interesting, to be fair, about what we've learned. So I'm happy going away. It's Friday, so we've got the weekend to look forward to now. So nice day on the bank. Hopefully you've got a few tips, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, don't forget to give the video a like and a comment below. But if you're looking for something to improve your fishing a little bit more, or really enjoy watching live matches, or learning about new methods, or just general real in-depth match reports, don't forget to check out my members channel in the description below.